Man, I missed that intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Anything Goes. My name is Luis.
We've been away for a few weeks, but we're back with a new show now. Better than ever.
That's right, and the format of the show is now different with social distancing being taken into account and all that, chaos going on outside.
And one of the things that can bring us together in these trying times is music.
That's right, Jeff. So let's check out a new episode of the Rosetta Tone.
Hi everyone, I'm Scott. Welcome to the Rosetta Tone, the only show where we take the conventional audio effects of our world and use them in unconventional ways. Despite this worldly crisis that we're living through, we're powering through it, and we're here with another episode for you guys. We've got a cool effect to show you. It's called the tremolo. It's a really nice, simple effect. All it actually does is it takes the volume of something and it makes it go up and down really fast. So nothing too crazy, but it has a nice effect. So why don't we cut right to Slater, who has a demo with his guitar again. He'll just show you what the effect sounds like. Here's the guitar without the effect. And now here's the guitar with the tremolo switched on. So yeah, that was definitely cool. Like I said, it's a really basic effect, but it can really liven up something that would otherwise be a bit more dull. Now for our really cool extra special instrument, we've got Slater again, and he's gonna mess around with some wine glasses for you. Here's the wine glass without the effect. And now here's the wine glass with the effect on. Alright, so that was definitely cool. I've got to hand it to Slater. I didn't know that making a wine glass sing like that would be so easy. Or at least he made it look really easy. But it's worth pointing out that the tremolo effect isn't exclusive to guitar pedals. It can also be achieved by a violin, by bouncing the bow across the strings. You can also get a tremolo out of organs or vibraphones with a rotating motor that's built right in the instrument. But that's about it. That's what we've got for you this week. So just remember, there's all kinds of effects out there waiting to be heard in ways that haven't been used before. It can only be done through the Rosetta Tone.
Wow, that sounded great. Thank you, Rosetta Stone. Very cool.
It can be a scary world even without this pandemic going on.
What do you mean?
Well, crime doesn't take a break for anything, not even a pandemic.
I would like to see them try. I've been locked in my house for weeks. I haven't seen the sunlight or the sunrise in weeks. In fact, my fiance thinks that I'm a mushroom.
That's... Anyway, here's an episode of Murder in the Making.
Now, before we get to anything, let me just say to Tom Reynolds and the other people investigating me. No, I don't idolize Ted Bundy, yada yada. I know you want to paint me like that, but I don't. I'm just going to tell you some facts you might not have known.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ted Bundy. So, everyone knows about him. He's been in several documentaries. I mean, Zac Efron portrayed him, which is crazy, but a lot of people focus on usually the same thing in all these documentaries.
A very charming psychopath, as some would say, confessed to the kidnapping, rape, and murder of 30 women in the 70s.
They focus on how charismatic he was, how he was good at manipulating people, how he was vile and evil because of the transgressions he did and all the things he did to people and women and things like that. But
he even may have started his murderous ways in the 60s. The best ways to describe Ted Bundy is probably power and control. He did not value human life or feel remorse for his actions.
He had a plan for nearly everything, and a cold, unfeeling heart to enact them without fail. I mean, seriously, he connived everything.
But there's a couple points I don't think people have touched on too much.
Let's take this one example. Let's take his college days. Early on, he began to date a young woman by the name of Stephanie Brooks, who eventually broke up with him because of his lack of ambition and, saying he wasn't fit for anything. That right there set something in motion in Bundy's mind. So he basically proceeded to re-enroll in the school after a while, after moving back to California for a bit. He re-enrolled in the school. He became the top dog there. He began getting his grades up. He was on the honor society. He gained respect and admiration from his teachers, and she was really into it. She got back together with him, and then they started seeing each other more and more, eventually talking about marriage, introducing her as his fiancée at one point. Then one day, boom, no more connection, no more nothing. He just stopped talking to her. She tried getting his attention again, talking to him over a phone call, and his last words, after she was asking what happened, he said, "Sorry, Stephanie, I don't know what you're talking about," and then hung up.
So Ted Bundy did have a pretty soft human side to a point. In 1970, he was walking around Seattle's Green Lake, and a 3-year-old boy actually fell into the river. Now, it was reported that Bundy was the first person to jump in and save him, and it wasn't Bundy who reported this, it was other people, so it wasn't like he was making it up later to get some brownie points or anything. He also worked at a suicide crisis hotline. He volunteered there. And one of the people he volunteered beside was Anne Rule. Anne Rule was a former police officer, and she was also a crime reporter after that. Now, she met Bundy, and they talked, and she's been known as saying that he was very kind and nice, and he was super empathetic. He would for hours talk people off of killing themselves, talk them off of ledges, which is kind of out of character for a serial killer. I mean, who knows? This is just conjecture. I'm just saying this, but maybe he thought that because of all the people he saved, maybe it was only right to go and kill some other people. I don't know.
Honestly, Bundy's story, I believe, is incredibly messed up, from his childhood to his eventual execution. But throughout all that, you can't deny the man was kind of a genius.
The most interesting thing about Bundy is how he is able to get people on his side. Like, yes, he was good looking, and he was able to get people to kind of like him or fall for him and stuff like that, but just the way that he was able to get anyone to like him. I mean, Anne Rule was, when she met him at the time, married with kids, and she was quite a bit older than he was, but she still just thought he was a good guy. He was super charismatic and nice, that she became friends with him, and she was one of the three people, whenever they put out his description of his car and who he was and his name being Ted, as to being connected with these murders, she was one of the people that called in and said, hey, the guy you're describing, I know, but there's no way it could be him. I mean, she literally said it's probably not him, but everything that you've put in your report does match him, so I just wanted to call ahead and give due diligence and let you know that you can check this out. And whatever it turned out that it was him, she, like everyone else that knew him, was shocked. No one thought that he could go to these lengths, because he just had this completely twisted double life.
Maybe it's a good idea that we're stuck inside, because all the windows and doors are locked. Makes everything a lot easier and a lot safer.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
Even with social distancing, I've been told that Anything Goes Live is still going on. Somehow.
That's good, because I heard the Pepper segment was like a very big hit. Even though it may not have been live, you were seeing it. It was like recorded live.
With that said, let's see what wacky thing they're getting to in Anything Goes Live.
Welcome back, everyone, to Anything Goes Live. Obviously, things are a little different, but as always, I'm Raiden.
I'm Luke.
I guess we'll get into it. Do you know what we're doing today, Luke?
I think we are doing Mad Libs, I heard.
A little thing I like to call Mad Libs and Wet Lips. All we're going to do is we're going to have our little glasses of water here. And what's going to happen is I'm going to tell Luke, he's going to go through his sheet and say there's a noun, there's a name, there's a number, and I'll be the one giving the answers for it. I will put water in my mouth, and then Luke has to read the page that he just wrote out. If Luke makes me laugh 4 times while he's reading his story, he gets 4 points. If I make him laugh 3 times, then I get 3 points. Alright, man, I'm nervous. I don't know why I always get nervous before the show. This one is probably the least dangerous one we've ever done, but I'm still like,
Yeah, you're probably still reeling from the hot challenge, I bet.
Don't even start with me. But, alright.
Okay, so this one is going to be called the X-Files Alien Abduction. Okay, as a gynecologist with rich experience in swinging, I never considered myself a prime candidate to become an FBI agent. However, it all changed on a gorgeous summer night while I encountered a flying rooster while trotting in my backyard. Before I could yell, "Slaps McGillicuddy," my hair follicles got caught in a bright beam of light, and I was teleported to Captain Hook's bedroom. There I saw little magenta beings performing a rotation plasty on a person who looked like Christopher Waltz. No, it was Michael B. Jordan. Without hesitation, I grabbed my dentures and attacked them. I must have wounded at least a septillion and one of them. Before they retreated, leaving only pools of ointment behind. I could hear sirens in the distance. Jamie Foxx was looking at me in absolute stunning. "Are you okay?" I asked. Jamie Foxx answered, "I'm not. Thanks." At this point, -40 government agents burst in armed with samurais. Impressed by my empathy, they recruited me into the FBI on the spot.
Oh, that hurts so bad. Okay. So, I'm going to give you a 1 point, because while I didn't actually spit anything out, it was definitely coming out during 1 point. So you got a point.
Okay.
You ready for your turn?
Cheers.
All right, welcome to a dramatic reading of How They Met. So, when Ben met Bennifer, it was Coke bottle at third sight. He saw her at NWTC High School as she was standing next to the Grand Wizard Patrick Sachs's classroom, folding to another friend of his. He swam over to say, "Hola," introduced himself, and asked her name. She was so played. "Hi there," she said. "Frightful. My name is Bennifer." She had seen him around and thought he was super moldy. They swung for a while and then exchanged dinosaurs. Later, he acted to ask her out on a Walmart. On their 86th date, they went crunking and had polar bears of fun. The 23rd time they greeted out, he took her to Blue. Since things went so jumping on their first date, he invited her to his zombie apocalypse. After that, they were officially a money, and he started walking her as his 1979 Pontiac Camaro. Happily ever after. All right. How'd I do?
Wow. I mean, it was funny. It was funny. I didn't spit any water out, but I mean, I maybe snotted some boogers out because I can't breathe through my mouth. So I would say I would probably give you at least 1 point for that for sure.
All right. Well, then we're tied. You know what that means on this show? We never end in a tie. All right, so let's go ahead and say hi to Luis. Hi, Luis. Like we said, we can never end in a tie on this show, so we brought in Luis here as a third party. Luke and I are going to go back and forth, so we'll do, I'll fill in a line, then Luke, then me, then Luke, so on. And then once we do that, Luis will read it, and then whoever laughs loses, I guess, because right now we're tied. So... to make it extra hard, put literally as much as you can in your mouth without drowning.
Come play at Walmart, where you'll receive hideous discounts on all your favorite brand name Lizard's Feet. Our Grand Set and Jousting associates are there to canoodling you 23 hours a day. Here you will find sharp prices on the gas stations you need, national security agents for the moms, pillows for the kids, and all the latest electronics for the brethrens. So come down to your role-playing naked Walmart where the spoons come first.
Wow.
You good, Raiden?
Yeah, I'm all right. So, Luke, did you spit or laugh?
I did not. I was close, but I did not.
Well, I didn't, and then right before I swallowed, I just thought of naked role-playing Walmart and just all over my lap. So, Luke, congratulations. You take the first episode of Anything Goes Live Quarantine Edition. Congratulations,
Bravo,
buddy.
Bravo.
It's I'll say with everything that's been going on, all the the outside world seems very distant and far off. It's good to talk to you guys. It's good to kind of do the same stupid stuff we've been doing for a few weeks now. So, you guys take it easy, everyone at home. Good luck to you. Stay safe. All that stuff. We're not going to reiterate something that everyone's been saying, but just trying to have a little bit of fun. Do something like this. Do Mad Libs and Wet Lips or whatever you want. Just kind of have fun with each other. But you'll have a good one. See ya.
All right. See ya. Wow, guys, that was pretty crazy. Also, Jeff, question, with so many things being closed down, how does that affect my city?
Well, we couldn't do indoor locations anymore, so we had to shoot outside. And hardly anyone was out there, so it was actually pretty easy to film.
Oh, cool. Well, with that taken into account, let's check out another episode of My City.
It's April. Usually the month that families in Wisconsin stop staying indoors and start going outdoors. That isn't so this year. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, now many places are just desolate. However, My City will still be going and visiting various places throughout northeast Wisconsin. Last week, we checked out Oconto, Wisconsin. This week, we head back down south and visit Suamico.
Join us on an adventure as we take you through a tour of the cities of northeast Wisconsin in My City. Just a few miles north of Green Bay lies Suamico. Established in 1848 and then re-established in 1858, Suamico was known for its large sawmills at the time. Today, it's a quiet town with a population just over 10,000.
I'm here at the New Zoo Adventure Park. This is just one of the places you can go visit in Suamico with your family. That is, if it was open, because this, just like many other places right now, are closed for the foreseeable future. Once the restrictions are finally lifted, make sure to come here to check out all the animals at this wonderful zoo. We're here at the historic Vickery Village in Suamico, Wisconsin. Founded in 1972, Vickery Village is one site that houses various buildings from Suamico's vast and rich history. This is the Weed Mill Inn. Built in 1862 by the Weed brothers, it has the honor of being placed on the National Registry of Historic Places today. This building was also fortunate enough to survive the Suamico fires of 1871. This was the Old Town Hall in Suamico. Established in 1885, it held many debates and different things throughout the years. However, it was purchased in 1978, and you can visit it here in Hickory Village, where it stands to this day. Behind me is the White Pine School. Built in 1878 for only $500, it's been moved from its original location a few miles away from here, up to Vickery Village, where it stands today.
And that's it for this episode of My City. Join us in 2 weeks from now when we head west to check out Pulaski, Wisconsin.
That was definitely interesting. Really empty, too. But this was a new format. Anyway, guys, that was episode 1 of Anything Goes, Quarantine Edition. With that being said, Jeff?
We should hopefully be back next week with more content for you. And as always, 3, 2, 1...
Anything goes.